Hello, I am Rachel, and I am here with my sister-in-law, Ivana, and we have our first book club book. What is our
Yes,
book?
we do. It Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I had a peepover at the book.
Yep. Say You'll Remember Me. Ivana got them for my birthday. So we both read them, and this is the physical copy, even though we're kind of Kindle girly.
We are Kindle girls.
But like the book is stunning, so I'm glad
It was. I know.
I have the actual copy of it.
I know. I had said to you that I haven't read like a hard copy of a book that like wasn't on my Kindle. Let alone like a literal hardback in a long time. It was hard to read.
Yeah, because I had to have my lamp on until 2 a.m. last night.
And she was crunching to finish this book.
I was. But like I have most of the Abby Jimenez books like in physical copy.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I gonna get when we go to Nadia Cupcakes in August? But you know what I don't have?
What?
Yours Truly, which is my favorite one.
Where did you read that?
I listened to it on Audible.
Oh,
and so
gave me the physical copy.
I give everybody the physical copy. But I don't have the physical copy. So that is what I'm going to get when we're there, because that is one of my favorite, actually probably one of my favorite books ever.
So Rachel gave me Yours Truly like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, and that was like the first time I had read one of her books, and now whenever she releases one, I'm like, we have to read it. It's so good. She's a great author.
And this was the first one released in hardcover, correct?
Yes.
Yes. This was the first one of her books released in hardcover. Because when we went to Disneyland, what book was released? The Just for the Summer.
Just for the Summer.
And that was in paperback because we got it at the airport.
No.
Did we not?
We got it at I gave it to you for your birthday last year as well. It was in paperback.
Yes, but we had it in paperback right away. Yep. But yeah, should we jump in to our like book club topics?
Sure. Okay. It was a very cute book.
It was. Okay.
I think that we should say that this will be spoilers for sure.
For sure.
Talking about spoilers, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so what are your initial thoughts of the book? Like right after finishing, like did you like it? Did you not like it? Initial thoughts.
I really liked it. I have to see what I rated it on Goodreads. I think I rated it a 4 out of 5.
A 5-star.
Okay.
On Goodreads, I give 5 stars away
left and right.
Left and right. Like my 5 stars are not a coveted position for books to have. But I really liked this book.
I did rate it a 4 out of 5. Yeah. The reason that it wasn't a 5-star read for me is miscommunication is like my least favorite trope in books, and I could not stand that she just like they just didn't talk.
They didn't talk. I feel as if it wasn't miscommunication. I didn't read it as miscommunication. Sure. I read it as more frustration and distance than miscommunication.
Yeah.
I don't think they fought about one of them not understanding the other, but rather the turmoil laid in them being so far away.
Yeah.
And not having that time to communicate or talk.
That's fair.
Because they were both so busy.
I just feel like she tried to push him away so hard. And
yes.
Like she wasn't giving them really a chance right away.
She was not giving them a chance right away. But to be fair, she was 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
As we heard over and over and over again, they were 2,000 miles away. So I can understand her. Like, she had no intention of ever returning.
Right.
And he had just opened the veterinary clinic, so there was no chance of him really ever moving.
I know. I was shocked about, like, her being like, oh, I'm moving to California. Rachel's not shocked.
Yes. So I got the vibes that she was permanently moving right away.
I thought she was just going to visit California, like her family. I didn't realize she was like actually moving.
Yes. So no, I knew that she was actually moving. That is what I picked up on the vibes. So I knew right away that after their date she was going to be moving.
Yeah, so that was shocking to me. That was one of like my favorite.
Yeah.
Not favorite, but I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. And it was like in the second chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing about Abby Jimenez is she knows how to hook you in the first line.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the best scene, or what was your favorite scene in the book?
I actually took a picture of it right after I read it because I got teary and I highlighted it.
There was only one part that I got teary last night. It was 1:30 in the morning, so I don't know if that is why.
I wonder if it's going to be the same
I wonder.
one. Okay. So they're talking about like their future together, and she said a lot of guys would leave if their partner couldn't have kids. And he said, I never understood that. She said, why? He goes, because if you were my wife, you would be my world. Everything starts with you and ends with you. Anything else is just the stuff that happens in the middle. And I thought, I was like, you are the sweetest man that has ever walked the earth.
Yes, I like that part too. So I did not get teary-eyed at that part. I actually got teary-eyed when the older doctor, Dr. Hank, was telling him who he was. I don't know why that hit me so hard.
Yeah.
But it did, and I was like crying in bed.
But like, you knew as a reader that's who he was?
No.
Okay.
I did not until I started reading it.
I did. Like, I figured that's who it was just because he had talked about like having a practice and he was like living in the same town. So
yes, but they're in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
There's a million veterinary clinics.
There are. Yeah.
It did not cross my mind until we got to that point. So we both like had separate things that we knew beforehand that the other didn't.
Yeah, that's very
for
true.
sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As for the best scene, my favorite scene, I think it was obviously one of the times that he was out in California.
Yeah.
I think from the moment that they went to the wrong place, everything started getting so heavy and downhill.
Yeah.
That like I really actually quite liked that section of the book. I felt it moved super fast because you just felt them spiraling.
Yeah.
Both of them in their feelings and in their heads and in their actions were just spiraling. And while that wasn't like the most entertaining thing to read and they weren't happy, I really liked that like section of the book
very
for
well written.
the way it like made you feel.
I agree. I also liked right at the beginning when actually I did highlight this part as well. It was the first sentence of her book. I always love the first sentences of her book. Like I just feel like she knows how to really. Okay. So the first sentence of her book was, "You want me to do what?" And it's like this girl that came in and she wanted to put the dog down.
Yes.
Like, I'm not putting this damn dog down. And he ended up adopting the dog.
Yes.
But he was like, excuse me, because he's supposed to be this very broody, like, man. But he's like his best version of himself when he's with Samantha. Mm-hmm. I liked when him and Samantha first met that day at the vet.
I loved that. I actually loved the second time they came back in and he goes, do you want to go on a date with me? And she's like, absolutely.
I know. I told you that I thought I missed a page because they were like in the middle of a conversation. All of a sudden he goes, would you like to go on a date with me? And she goes, absolutely. I'm like, oh my God, did I miss a page?
Was there something else in here?
Yes.
No, I thought that was great. Like it was so each of them like, do you want to go on a date?
Yeah. The first chapter is from his point of view. And so I love like when she came into the vet and he's like, she was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm like, I love a man that yearns. Bring back yearning.
Bring back yearning.
Bring it back.
Okay. Next question. Who was the best character? Who was your favorite character?
Probably him.
I would agree.
Yeah. But I also really liked Samantha's brother.
Interesting.
Yeah. He was just goofy.
Yeah, I would agree. He was my favorite character. I typically don't like a lot of female lead characters, but I did really like Samantha. Yeah. I didn't have a problem with her like I do a lot of other characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so then who was your least favorite character?
This is gonna seem, I don't know. Well, obviously his parents suck.
Yes, I think that goes without saying that his
Yes.
parents are the worst characters. Like the tiny snippet we got of an actual conversation with his mom, she was terrible. She's,
Yeah.
as Samantha said, a narcissist. And so they would be the worst characters. But outside of that, like of our main characters, who was your least favorite?
Probably her sister.
And see, my least favorite was her brother.
Okay.
I just did not vibe with him.
I think that a lot of responsibility was put into these siblings.
I would agree.
And it made me kind of sad because each of them were kind of tackling their own beasts at the same time, which I think is a very realistic thing that happens in these circumstances with like dementia or like
when you have to care for a family member.
But like the sister was working, she had 2 boys on her own, and she was working like 2 jobs to be able to afford because they all lived in their grandma's house together. And then they decided to demo the house, like, and start doing things to it. And I'm like, you guys can't even afford like the mortgage on this 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom apartment over the garage, like house in California, let alone redoing it.
Well, I took it as like the house, because the house was the grandma's.
Yeah.
So the house would have been paid off. They took
No,
out
they
a
were
home
pitching and paying monthly for it.
because they took out a home equity loan, which is
Okay.
against your house.
Okay.
And so they had to pay that. That's what they were using to do the demo. I could be completely wrong, but they took out an like home equity loan to pay for the remodel.
Yeah. Okay, and I don't know if this is going to be I kind of quickly skimmed our book review questions. I don't know if this is going to be like one of the questions, but I have to say that I was kind of disappointed at the end of the book. Samantha had called like a family meeting and said to her family like, I can't do this by myself anymore because she lost her job and she was watching her mom on her own. And she goes like, we either need to put her in a home or like everyone needs to help more.
Yeah.
And her family all decided like together that they were going to help out more instead of put her in a home. And yes, putting your parent in a home would be terrible. But like I personally feel like my mom wouldn't want me to like suffer. I mean, they were all suffering
They
deeply.
were.
Like it was dark and deep and they were all spiraling. It was sad.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing with that too is like she's not old. Their mom's not old.
No.
This isn't a temporary situation until she would like pass away. It is years, if not like decades. Like decades that they would have to deal with the decline of their mom.
And I felt just kind of bad for her because she really put her life on pause to do this.
Yeah.
And like no one should have to like put their life on pause.
No.
For that.
And it wasn't really by choice that she put it on pause because if you want to take care of a parent, I think that's great. I think it takes a certain special kind of person to be able to stop everything and be full-time care for a family member. But she only was in that situation because she got fired.
Yeah.
And so she didn't necessarily want to not have a job and that be her full-time job.
Yeah. It's giving Aelin Ashriver Galathinius when she was like, what's everyone's decision? Everyone's decision was to off Aelin.
Yeah, she didn't.
Not in the character's best interest.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So then was there any plot twists that you loved or hated?
Come back to me.
Okay. I don't know that I would say there was really any big plot twists in this book, per se. I'd say there's nothing that I didn't like or that I hated. So I'm pretty neutral on this question. There was nothing I loved or hated. There was no twists necessarily for me.
No, it was a pretty cute love story.
Yeah.
I would agree. I'm pretty neutral.
Oh, another question I wanted to add about characters. Was there any other character that you would have liked to follow? Or any other character you would have liked to have like their POV or know more about their story as well?
I would have, but this would be like changing the story a little bit.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have like little throwback chapters of like the mom when she was younger, because the mom and the dad had such like a great love story, and they talked about this great romantic love story all the time. And I would have loved to, like, when she was talking about finding the old CDs and like stuff like that, like I would have loved, or even like just some letters that the mom was writing as she was losing her memory, you know? Like things, I don't know.
Like that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I think for me, the character I would have followed would be the dad. I was very curious about him and what he was doing. And I think it would have been just interesting. So right away, I knew he was seeing someone else when he was gone in the middle of the night and left the door unlocked. So it was shocking to me that nobody else knew, but Tristan knew. And he has suspected it.
That he was a little.
She had no idea.
Okay.
Tristan was the only one who said, no, he's seen somebody.
Yeah.
Like, he is leaving in the middle of the night every night.
Right. Like, be for real.
Like 2 to 3 times a week. He's seen someone else. And I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him either.
His whole life is in shambles.
No.
His whole marriage is kind of wiped away by the person he loves the most. He needed to get out of the house.
Happy.
Everyone does deserve to be happy. How did you feel about the ending?
It was all right. I would have loved to see Samantha and Xavier like have their own place and have some separation from her family, just because I feel like that was kind of
Except they both have no money.
They both have no money. Yeah, but I just feel like it's a lot. Like, I personally am not strong enough to do it, but she was like super close with her family and he didn't really have a family.
Yes.
So different circumstances.
Yeah. I think to me the ending felt a little unrealistic.
I would agree.
I think everything up until then was pretty realistic. Everything started spiraling and it just went downhill, and they didn't get to see each other all the time, and they were both really sad. And then all of a sudden at the ending, I know we want a happy ending. It was too unrealistic for me. For me, it would have been great. He sells the practice and he's obviously in debt, but I don't think he could have moved and opened his own. I think he should have just been working at someone else's practice.
I thought he should have been working at someone else's practice too.
When he moved. That to me would have felt more realistic.
He was barely even paying himself at the one in Minneapolis.
First one. Yeah. So to me, there's just no way he would have opened another one without having been working somewhere else first.
Right. I suppose he was, though, like there was a couple more vets that were coming in and working, so he would have been making more of a profit in the Minneapolis one, but definitely not enough to open a second location.
Yeah. It just was a little unrealistic. I liked that they were together. I liked that he moved out there.
And he doesn't even have a clientele.
No.
In California.
No.
So he doesn't, I mean, it's pretty much, he did go viral.
He did go viral.
He went viral.
I did like that part.
Yeah. That was silly.
It was very silly.
Yeah.
But I did like that part. Okay. What did you think about the book's length? Anything you would add or cut? I thought it was fine as is. There's nothing I would have cut out. There's nothing I would have added. I thought it was a good length.
Yeah, her books are pretty quick.
I would agree.
They're good.
But I thought it was good.
I wouldn't add any more either. Like I just
I wouldn't either.
Cute little
I think if you added anything else, it would have been too long.
Yeah.
I didn't need them spiraling any longer than they were. I didn't need them like going back and forth any more than we got them going back and forth. So I thought it was perfect.
Actually, back to a previous question, since you were just talking about this, I was thinking about what I would cut. My least favorite character is his best friend's little sister.
Okay, I had something else to say about this. I got a little confused at some point because his friend's little sister's name Janessa.
Oh.
And her sister's name is Geneva.
Wait, what?
The little sister's name is Janessa.
Yeah.
The sister's name is Geneva.
Wait, I thought that it was his guy friend's sister.
It is.
Who's Geneva?
Samantha's sister.
Oh, okay. No.
The names look the same on paper.
Okay.
When I'm reading.
Okay.
So at some point he was in the diner with his friends.
Yeah.
And said, Janessa is taking our order. And I was like,
you're like, what's she doing in Minneapolis?
What is she doing here? I had to go back and I was like, what is going on? Where am I? But Geneva and Janessa are different characters. To me, that was a little confusing.
It is confusing.
And I don't think I realized it until it was a chapter where he was with her and then he was back in Minneapolis.
Sure.
So it was just a slight, I had to go back and look at the two names because they looked so similar on paper.
Yeah.
That it was just kind of funny.
Okay, so I kind of feel like that didn't need to be in it. I feel like that whole
I feel like that slight weirdness between them was unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
She could have just been his friend's sister.
Yeah.
There didn't need to be that.
A side eye.
Yeah, there didn't need to be that for me.
Yeah.
Because it played no real role.
No, it didn't. Because she had that, and then I guess she talked to him a little later about his parents.
But she still could have done that just as his friend's sister.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that could have been cut too. Agreed. Okay. Any books, movies, shows that this book reminded you of?
I don't know. What about you?
I don't think so. I feel Long Distance always reminds me of stuff like November 9th.
Where they did say that early on.
Yeah, that they only see each other
once
a year. But I had just read, what did I just read? Where they only see each other. Oh, I read one of those quick stories for the Valentine's Day thing. Yeah. That was very much like November 9th. But yes, this felt a little like November 9th, but I think any long distance where they spend so much time apart always reminds me of November 9th. I don't know why that book is so ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that Abby Jimenez does a good job about not having her books kind of feel the same.
Yes.
Emily Henry is another author if I'm needing a feel-good book, but her books at some point start to all kind of feel the same.
So I did feel like this one felt a little like yours truly, just the characters, not the plot.
You did say that with the boy.
Not the plot, but the characters, because he was such a sweetie boy, and that is what I loved most about the main character.
Her boys are sweetie boys, though.
And I think that's why I like her books so much, because I am just not here for the brooding, mean.
Oh, I love that.
I don't like that at all. I love golden retriever sweetie boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have a golden retriever sweetie boy.
That might be true.
My husband is not mean. I should preface by saying that. He's not broody or mean. He also is a golden retriever.
He is. We both have golden retriever. Yeah. I like it to read about that, and you do not.
Yeah.
Well, you liked this book, so I guess.
I really love. Well, I like all her books. Yeah, they're super cute.
Yeah. Okay. Would this make a better movie, TV show, or neither?
Movie.
So I think neither.
Okay.
I don't think these characters in the situation would translate well in an actual
That's fair
show. I think I just don't think it would go from paper to a script as nicely as the book is.
Just because it's hard to portray emotions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think it would be in Twilight where they go around the room and it's November, December, January.
I'm not a Twilight girly.
Okay, well, that is how they portrayed time. She's just sitting in a chair, depressed, and they go spin around her in the room, and the months flash on the screen.
It's giving low budget.
But it was, that's when you read the book, it went October, you flipped a page, November, flip the page, December, flip the page. Like, that is what it did in the book.
Sure.
And so that is what they did in that. But I think portraying how much time has passed in between each time they see each other and what's going on would not translate well into movie or television, I feel.
Yeah. I know, it's hard to show time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Rate this book out of 10. We've set our 5 stars on, out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but out of 10, where would you rate it?
Probably a 7.
I'd give it an 8.5.
Okay.
I think
7.9.
8.5.
Okay.
Would be mine. Yeah. Okay. Anything else about this book? Any final thoughts? Final takeaways? Favorite things?
No, it was a good book. I really liked it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
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 What did you think of the cover art?
All her cover art is beautiful. I have to say that just because we're both from Minnesota, like, I love to read about Minnesota and like places that we know, like when they talk about like Minnetonka and stuff like that. And I also love California.
Yes,
so
you do.
It was fun to read about both and like places I've been in California.
Yeah.
In the book too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so funny. And also, it's kind of random every single time she puts in Nadia's cupcakes.
It is.
Because it didn't fit in this one. It really, truly didn't. But it's one of those things that takes you out of the book for me.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't feel in book.
Yeah.
It feels
too... It's an ad placement. It's like when they do it in Euphoria. Like,
yeah. So it just kind of takes me out of the book if it's not woven in there, because it is the one thing that gets like a specific name almost.
Yeah.
And it's so in your face. But it's in every single one of the books.
Okay,
so
did you know she had Nadia cakes in California?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either, but she talked about that in the book.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, can we also talk about how the whole beginning of the book he was being compared to Rysand?
Yeah, that was goofy. And then the whole internet agreed that he looks like Rysand.
Did they really?
Yeah, like in the comment section.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny, but by the 4th time we heard someone compare him to him, I was like, okay, this might have been a little much for me.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was fun. And she put that in like one of the first couple of chapters. So her first couple of chapters are always so quick and funny.
Yeah.
Like I LOL at her books.
I know.
Show the inside cover.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh. It's so cute.
You're gonna have to hold one side.
Okay. Teamwork. It's them driving in her mom's car.
Yeah.
The busted up, beat up car that had what? A mouse in it? A dead mouse.
Ugh. Yes. Reading the back cover though,
it was
to know that
cute.
That did happen to her.
Yeah.
Wild. It's long. I'm not going to read it all. But needless to say, a lot of this stuff was like about her childhood in California.
Yeah, Abby Jimenez said that she had this car. And like
all the things that happened or that they did with it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of funny.
It is funny.
But
personal touch.
Personal touch.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anything else about the book?
No, I think that was...
Okay. What is our options for our next book?
I think that we should do Emily Henry's new book, Great Big Beautiful Life. Is that what it is?
When does it come out?
Next week, April 22nd.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't follow my rules.
What were your rules?
I said you have to have 2 options. And then you're going to read the summaries to me of those 2 options, and then I get to pick which one.
Okay.
We'll do that next time. New book is coming out. We'll do the new book.
Do you want me to? I have 2 books.
No.
Okay.
Know that this was your pick, though.
Okay. Strike one. Sounds good.
Okay, but that is all. And that was our first little like book club book.
Okay, whoop whoop.
So fun.
Yes.
All right, that's all I've got.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Dad, you didn't follow the rules.